Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Mike.
Hello, Fred. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here because I'm fascinated by this topic. This is not something we've talked about much on the podcast, but I think that I think it's interesting. Hopefully, other people will agree with me.
I hope so. It's how we make a living. So, and I know it's interesting to you and me.
Right. Exactly. Well, I don't know if I want to call this a living, but it sure is fun. So you are in golf media relations.
Yes. I have been in golf media relations for about 26 years now. I was a sports writer for many years in the Knight Ridder chain, and then started a golf magazine, and then sold that and started this company in 1990.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can you explain what golf media relations is and what you do?
Well, I hope so. It has changed a lot over the years, thanks to technology, but the goal and the objectives are still the same. It really is to gain publicity and exposure for my clients through the golf media to the golfers and consumers out there in America. And we do that in various ways. It's certain that part has changed over the years. It used to be press releases that were mailed and then follow-up phone calls. And we would try to get interviews for our clients through the traditional methods. Now, anybody's a media person almost. You can, it's there 24/7, television, radio, internet, and it's hard to keep up with it all, but that is our goal, is to keep our clients' message still in front of the media and therefore the consumers.
So what aspects of golf are you dealing with? Are you representing players or products, I guess would be or services?
Yeah, I don't represent any players. The exception is when I have a client that has a player as a spokesperson, then I work with that player. A good example is Zero Friction, which just signed on with Johnny Miller prior to the PGA show in January. In fact, Johnny bought part of the company, so I worked with Johnny at the PGA show to get him interviews with the media. But some of my clients are product related, and some of them are golf courses, travel companies that book trips for groups to different parts of the world to play golf. I have a couple of those clients as well.
And I would think that sometimes it's got to be difficult to figure out how to get the message correct so that the media will not look at it and say, yeah, it's just a commercial, I don't care. This, versus this is a news story.
That is our challenge. Not every story that we send out in a press release is a news story. It's getting your product name in front of the consumer is our challenge and our charge, and we send out lots of material. But we have to come up with interesting angles that are not only interesting to the media person, but also to his or her audience. And so that is our challenge. And a lot of times the companies and the clients that we have do that on their own by coming up with a great new product or signing a person like Johnny Miller or golf course that I represent hosting a U.S. Open qualifier or whatever it might be. We will try to report on that to our media contacts, and hopefully they will carry that message to the consumer. But it's not always easy because there are lots of golf companies and golf courses and destinations fighting for that attention for guys like you. And trying to get a minute or two or a line or two in a publication, it is a challenge.
Yeah. What successes would have you had that didn't involve saying PGA Tour? I would think that once you say PGA Tour on it, you're going to catch the attention of a lot of people. But if it doesn't say that, what kind of products or services have you represented that have had success?
Well, many over the years. I've done
Great.
very little with the PGA Tour. That is obviously a door opener that we all wish we had, but the golfer out there, the average 10, 20 handicapper looking to cut a stroke or two off of his score, doesn't really care about the PGA Tour when it comes to that. He's looking for a product or a tip or a training aid that will help him do that. So we've had great success along those lines, because I generally won't take on a product unless I believe in it myself and think it will work. I mean, that's the key. In order to deliver a message appropriately to a media person in hopes that they will get excited about it, you got to be excited about it yourself. So a really good example of that is a company called Knuth Golf. You may have heard of Dean Knuth.
Mm-hmm.
He was a senior director with the USGA for 16 years, I believe. He's the person that created what we now have as a slope system, the handicap system that most courses use. He was called the Pope of Slope.
That's marketable.
Yeah. But he retired from the USGA, and he wanted to develop a product that would help amateur golfers. With all the knowledge that he gained from working at the USGA all those years, and he's got an engineering brain, he put together a product called High Heat that is built for an amateur's swing. It has the center of gravity is at a place where most amateurs miss their shots. So the center of gravity is wider on the club. And I won't try to get technical here on you and your audience, but it works for amateurs. He's not.
So wait, this is a putter?
No, it's a driver.
A driver. Okay.
A driver. It's called High Heat, and it was selected by Gary Van Sickle, who's the sports golf writer for Sports Illustrated, as the best new product at the show last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Dean's not, but he's not an equipment company trying to roll out a new product every year, trying to make a lot of money. He's retired. He has money. He wanted to create a product that would help the amateur golfer. I jumped on board with them, and his product has been a home run, so much so that this year at the PGA show, he introduced 3-wood, 5-wood, 7-wood, and hybrids, and they too have been received very well. So there's an example of a company that will garner the attention of the media person because the product works for the consumer, not because it's played by someone on tour who is paid to play a club.
So if it works for the consumer and he's not looking to get rich, where do you find this product and how do you get distribution points for it? Where do you go with that?
That's a great question, and it's only sold online.
Okay.
At knuthgolf.com. And if you want me to spell that, I will. I didn't come on here to do a commercial for my client, but
I don't mind. We're going to be. Why not? That's what your job is, man.
Well, I agree, but it's KNUTH golf.com. It's a driver that's less expensive than most of its
that's
competitors,
important.
and it's not like he will be coming out with a new version of that driver anytime soon. This is what he does for the love of golf and for amateur golf, and it is working, believe me.
Well, then we're going to have to get him on the show because, you said you didn't want to get technical on us. This audience loves technical.
Oh, good.
When you start talking about golf clubs and unique features and why it works and why it doesn't, it perks people's ears up. And we've seen that time and time again.
He will be the most interesting interview you've had on the show for a long time, then, if your audience likes that, because he definitely has a brilliant engineering type mind and very technical guy.
I'm more of a tech geek when it comes to electronics, as you can tell as we walk through setting up, doing this recording together, and equipment. It's like, okay, I have my clubs. And it works for me. I'm fine. I'm set. I'm not one to look to change as often as like TaylorMade will come out with something every 6 months because they have to refresh their line.
Right.
I'm not looking to refresh mine every 6 months.
Neither am I. In fact, I just changed irons for the first time in 8 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, if I find something I like, I stick with it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean I'm not willing to try one of the drivers or hybrids from knuthgolf.com.
Well,
How was that plug?
And we didn't even plan that ahead of time, Fred.
I got a lot more where that came from, buddy. I promise you.
Oh, I'll have to introduce you to Dean. And if you're coming to the ING conference, he will be there. So that might be a great place to introduce you.
Well, I'm sure you've heard this line many times in your business. You've just killed the lead. We're gonna get to the ING conference. I'm really fascinated about what your job is and how you do something like that. So let's see here. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm really interested in hearing more about that and what products you represent. And I love the fact that you won't take on a product unless you believe in it. That's really important because you got to become the pitch man on this. Whether you're the face of it or not, you got to get the words out there.
Well, my reputation is on the line like theirs if my name is attached to it. Just to keep your audience clear, I do wear two different hats. My PR and media relations company is Jamison Golf Group, and ING, or International Network of Golf, is a nonprofit networking organization that we manage. So my clients, when I speak of my clients, they're on the Jamison PR side. Yeah, just to let you know and let them know. And I felt like I would be good at this because I was a sports writer for all those years. And then I owned a golf publication that covered the southeastern part of the United States for 3 years. So I kind of understood what a media person wanted and needed to receive from a public relations person to gain their interest. So I took that information and I use it on this side of the fence. I still do a lot of writing, but the money comes from the PR side, not the writing, believe me.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's so fascinating that you've seen both sides of the ball here or the club, whatever, but seeing how it is receiving the information from marketers and being a marketer. PR person, I don't know if you consider that marketing, but being a public relations person for a product and a service.
Yeah, it's all part of the same envelope, really. Advertising, marketing, PR, promotions, they all go together.
Yeah.
The final goal for all of it is to get the brand in front of the people and make sure the brand is well received.
Sure. Of course. What changes have you seen over the last 10, 15 years as the internet has taken hold and now golf instruction is online? People are just, going through YouTube looking for instructional videos as opposed to going to their local pro because they can get this for free. The internet has changed so many different industries. How has it impacted what you do?
Well, it's helped and it's made it more challenging both at the same time. It helps because there are more avenues to get the word out to the consumers. It's great for the consumers who instantly can go online and find anything they want about any type of product or service or destination to go play golf, etc. Where it becomes more challenging is that everybody can get online and become a media person if you have the means to do it. And so we have to be careful in our business to separate those the quality and the real media from the folks who are just looking for a free trip or a free club or whatever it might be.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but again, technology is what it is, and if you don't jump aboard, you're going to get left in the dust. And I think it's a good thing overall for consumers. I certainly use it when I'm booking a trip. I get online and find the best deal and book it online.
Sure.
Buying products, the same thing. I may not buy a product online. I sometimes do, depending on what it is, but I will certainly shop it and learn about it before I go buy it.
Yep. Well, I've often talked about the democratization of media, and that when people ask me about the golf podcast and whatnot, I'm just a guy with a lot of questions and the right equipment. So I'm just with a ton of curiosity. So for me, it's been a great opportunity to be able to meet a lot of people and ask a lot of questions and become a better golfer. I mean, I've talked to a lot of instructors, and I've learned a lot and become a better golfer. This is my own personal quest on how to get better. So that's where it's worked.
Yeah, and you've done a great job. When
you
you first contacted me, I did a lot of research on you, and you've had great guests. You're very well received in the industry. And you're one of those persons that
Please tell my wife that.
I don't get involved in those, but I don't have that in my contract. But it was my wife that saved this conversation today by getting me online with you technologically. But I thought you do a great job, and there are a lot of guys out there that are trying to do what you do. I hope they do it as well as you do.
I hope not.
That's only going to help the consumer.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. When I started doing podcasting in 2005 with Golf Smarter, I had to explain what a podcast was. I had to explain what iTunes was. And now, boy, podcasting in 2015, the audience increased. The surveys are showing the audience increased in podcasting by 25%.
Wow.
There's a lot of podcasts that have become very popular and have all boats rise, right?
Yeah,
and so it's made it a lot more fun. But now I have to explain things like, okay, I'm going to set you up on Blab, and we're going to do a live video conversation and let people join in the conversation. And it's like I'm back where I started.
Well, you have to educate a lot of us. That's part of your job as well. But yeah, it makes it. I mean, I enjoy. I once said, when I was working for the newspaper, that newspapers would always be here because people want to hold it and read it and smell it and feel like it's part of them. I haven't picked up a newspaper in a long time. I read it online now, and I went right against what I thought would be my history and my future. But just today, I read most of the coverage from Doral and the LPGA tournament today on Global Golf Post online. So that's what we do. That's what we do as Americans. We keep up, and it will be that way, and it'll only get more technologically advanced as we move forward. We just have to keep up with it as best we can.
As best we can. Absolutely right. It's not simple. And thank you for the kind words. I'm not sure how I feel about you doing research about me, but I guess that's nothing I can do about that. All right. So let's talk about ING a little bit now and what you were trying to create there. And let's explain what ING is first.
Okay. The International Network of Golf, that's ING. It's a nonprofit networking association, media-based. About 35% of our members are writers, broadcasters, folks like yourself who are delivering the message to the consumers. The other 65% are representatives from all walks of the golf industry, equipment makers, resorts, teachers, entrepreneurs, golf course designers, you name it. It's a full umbrella or association for the industry. But the mission is to bring the golf media together with the golf industry, introduce new products, develop new relationships, to make sure that the lines of communication are strong enough to deliver the correct message to the right people. And it started really in 1990 because I owned the magazine I was telling you about. It's called the Golf Reporter magazine in the southeastern United States. And we were the state association official magazine. So, excuse me, we wanted to reach the national audience, the national resorts, equipment makers, et cetera, to develop some working relationships with them. It was really difficult to get through to those folks on the phone, the decision makers, simply because there were so many of us out there. There are dozens upon dozens of these regional magazines. Mm-hmm. They couldn't take the time to talk to us. So we decided to create a group and an event where we were the focus and they would come meet us. And that's how ING started in 1990. And it's been going strong ever since.
That's interesting. 35% are media types, and
Yes.
then the 65% are industry.
Yes.
I find that number fascinating because it seems like as a media type, I'm like trying to always find content. I always need content. And sometimes doors don't open and phones are not answered and emails are not responded to. Because my guess is these people are bombarded. The industry types are bombarded by the media for more and more, coverage.
That's exactly how and why ING was created. We, meaning the regional and grassroots and niche media people, are the focus of the group, really the lifeblood of the group. And the companies that come and spend 3 or 4 days with us at our conference are there to meet those types of media. That's why they're there. Now, it has evolved also into a business networking organization where a golf course architect might meet a golf course owner that needs renovation work at our conference, and they do business. Or a clothing manufacturer. This year, our clothing manufacturer is Chase 54, which is an up-and-coming apparel company out of Colorado, I believe. And last year they came to the conference for the first time, and she said she spent the next 4 weeks signing deals with people, selling shirts. That's not why she came, but it's what she got as a benefit. So while it's still media focused, and the focus the object is to gain content and develop partnerships between media and business, also the business people find time to network as well.
So there's greater benefit at this conference of industry people, meeting among themselves and finding opportunities for each other. Does that mean at some point that the media people get ignored?
Good question. I would say no to that answer overall, but I will tell you this. We have something called the appointment show. It's like speed dating. Every 15 minutes, the exhibitor has a new media person that sits down across from them and does interviews or talks about his or her show or magazine or whatever it might be, and they get to know each other. However, we let the exhibitors help choose who will be dating them in that 15-minute period. And lately, a couple of them will ask for a business meeting with a prospect that might be on hand. Certainly wasn't our objective when we started this group, but it has evolved into that. And so while the media wouldn't be ignored, there are times where the business people want to meet with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I read a press release about the one-on-one speed dating and what's it called, one-on-one appointment show.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I found that such an interesting idea. And for me, it was like, okay, there's a couple shows right there. I can just have, in an afternoon, I can get a bunch of stuff recorded. I can have conversations and hopefully get to meet some more people. So that's why I contacted you. I thought this is going to be a lot of fun, but I needed to know more about it. So that's why I wanted to have you on the show.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think you're going to be perfect for what we call Radio Row. It's also Podcast Row and Television Row, but we call it Radio Row.
Sure.
Where you set up with your equipment, and then we bring you an exhibitor every 20 minutes, and you have a conversation, record some conversation, and to be used in future shows. So you're going to get a lot of content at our conference.
I'm yay. So do you get you mentioned podcast. Do you have podcasters that are there generally, or is it mostly local radio shows or syndicated radio shows?
You're going to break some ground for us, I think. And in fact, as I told you in our conversation,
I hate competition.
Well, I think I'm going to have you lead a discussion in one of our educational sessions on the advantages of podcasting and tell people exactly how this works, because I would assume that a lot of people in our group have not heard of Blab, for instance. I think this is going to be fairly new to them, and a lot of new concepts are introduced at the ING conferences, and as are a lot of new products. So I would assume that you would take a lead role in this and be a part of one of our educational sessions and talking about new media outlets and prospects. But yeah, to answer your question, most of these shows are syndicated or they're local, and they're doing interviews for future airing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what about TV? Again, is it just mostly local TV stations, TV shows? Golf Channel, NBC, are they also participating?
No, it goes back to our nucleus of grassroots and local and niche media. The Golf Channel has appeared on occasion. We do get local affiliates, like the ABC affiliate in Salt Lake has already signed up and is going to be there, that type of thing. But and we will get some travel golf shows. You've seen the TV shows that are 30 minutes on Fox Sports Network, for instance, that go to a site and do a 30-minute golf show. So we'll have a couple of those as well. It's not all radio, but it's mainly radio.
So share with me, if you can, I asked you earlier about your own business and your success stories. Can you share some success stories that have come out of the ING conference?
There have been so many over the 25 years that we've done this. I think the one that we're really proud of is Adams Golf.
Sure.
Barney Adams was working out of his garage, and when he came to the first ING conference that he attended, and I remember him standing out on that range during our demo day, stepping on golf balls, and then taking his tight lies and just smacking it out of those bad lies, one after the other after the other. And at that point, people thought he was a loon, and he had, Adam. They didn't know Adams Golf from Adams House Cat, but look where Adams Golf ended up going. Barney Adams, and look where Adams Golf took off. And I think he started at the ING conference.
Wow.
TaylorMade launched their R7 series back maybe 10 years ago at the ING conference. Gosh, we've had marriages.
What?
We haven't. I should take that back. We've the best kind of networking is when a man and a woman get together at ING conference and get married. We've had that happen. A PGA professional, teaching professional, met one of our editors of a magazine, and they ended up starting to date and got married. Heck, my assistant 3 years ago at Reunion Resort in Orlando met one of the marketing guys at Bridgestone Golf, unbeknownst to me, and they started dating for about a year before I knew anything about it. And now she moved from Orlando, where we're based, to Atlanta to get engaged to Dominic from Bridgestone. So,
that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, but there have been a lot of success stories over
I can imagine what a curveball that is on Radio Row, and you're scheduled for 15 minutes, and you're going to the next table, and the guy goes, you know what? Why don't you skip this table? We're busy right now. This is something that may last longer than this afternoon.
We keep a close eye on guys like you, Fred.
Yeah, well, not me. No, I've been married a long time, very happily married.
Well, we have a staff that moves people along when they get a little talkative or for whatever reasons at their appointment shows. So, yeah, but we've had some good success stories over here. Lots and lots and lots of publicity come out of this event.
And this is not just a demo day. This is more than, like demo days, people, you talk about Barney Adams and showing off tight lies. And Barney's been on the show, and he was a blast to talk to. But you get it's not just going out and hitting a new golf ball or checking out a new putter or somebody who invents a new tee. You have a lot of things that go over your conference. How many days is the conference?
The conference opens on Sunday night and runs through Wednesday night. And the demo day is it's a big part of it, but it's only a 3-hour part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a small part. The appointment show goes over 2 mornings. We have educational sessions based around a theme. This year, the theme is Bridging Golf's Generation Gap. So we're trying to focus on millennials and the younger audience to get more golfers on the golf course and more young executives into the golf industry. But we have networking sessions. We play golf. We have a couple of golf tournaments, and for those who want to get out and compete. So it is a full schedule with lots of variety.
I apologize to the audience if they're tired of hearing me talk about this company. Have you heard about Topgolf?
Yes, we're inviting Topgolf to be a part of this conference. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would think if you're having conversation about millennials, that they need to be there, because I just recently visited my first one and was absolutely blown away at the audience, the people that were participating, the people that were showing up there that were not golfers, that were having fun hitting golf balls.
And hopefully we'll become golfers too.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's a great door opener to our sport. Plus, I hear it's a lot of fun. Like you said, I went to your interview, and sounds like you guys are going. You went to Austin, or you're going to Austin.
We went.
So I'm hoping that they come to the conference.
Well, I've already written to their communications manager and told them about your show. And thinking that they would be perfect for something like this. And their response was, oh, well, good, because we're opening one in Salt Lake City just before that. So maybe we'll get those people to show up. But I think you need to get the corporate people out there. And
that's
talk later about it. Maybe I'll share some names.
Yeah, I appreciate it, because we have not had any luck yet with that, but I'll get that from you later.
Yeah,
but we're always looking for new products, new people in the game. Last year, for instance, our focus was on adaptive golf for amputees and wounded warriors and that kind of thing. And we had a long drive exhibition with amputee folks. And I don't know if you've heard of Tommy Morrissey. I'm sure you've seen the video of the 4-year-old kid that swings a golf club with one arm.
One arm, yeah, with one hand.
He and his dad and mom were there. He was amazing.
That's cool.
And probably will be out in Utah this year as well. So we're always looking to tell great news stories and fresh stories. And
as am I.
Yeah, it's not always about
the
new product. It's not always about the new training aid. We're looking for human interest stories as well.
Right. We're looking for stories. We're all looking for stories.
Yeah.
Is this, you're going to be in Utah in May for this conference this year. Is this the first time you're coming out west? Because I know you're based in Florida.
We're based in Orlando, Lake Mary actually, but it moves around the country. We've been to Pinehurst Resort a couple of times, and we've been up to Turning Stone up in Syracuse, Eagle Ridge in Illinois, Keystone Resort in Colorado, out to Mesquite, Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been west in about 10 years, so we're excited.
Awesome.
We're definitely excited about getting west and introducing the group to a lot of new people out there.
And do you do this just the once a year?
This is our major event. We have a small gathering at the end of August at the Myrtle Beach World Amateur, which is the largest on-site amateur golf tournament in the world. 3,000 plus players in one tournament. So ING has a presence there. We have a presence at the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando and in a hospitality room. And we usually do something in the fall. It moves around. It's been in Mesquite the last couple of years. So, but our big event is the one in May in Heber Valley.
Yeah. If people want to find out more information about the event and about what you do, how do they get in touch with you?
I would go to inggolf.com, inggolf.com. That'll tell you all you need to know about the International Network of Golf and about our spring conference at the Zermatt Resort in the Heber Valley area of Utah. And my PR company is jamisongolf.com, JAMISON golf.com. Those are the two places to find out about what we're doing.
I know that we've had listeners on the show who have come up with new products. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, I'm trying to introduce something. So I'm not a PR marketing person in that sense, but I sure love to hear about it. But I think that if they have something that If you do contact Mike, would you please let him know you heard about it on Golf Smarter?
Thank you so much for that. We would love to. And in fact, when they do contact me and we do link up and form a partnership and relationship, we'll bring them on the show for you, Fred.
There you go.
It's the least we could do.
Well, we're going to get Knuth Golf on.
I will definitely make that happen. You will love talking to this guy.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
He's got a naval background. He's one of the brightest people that I've ever met, and he's also one of the most interesting. You will have a great time with Dean. We'll make that happen soon.
Well, Mike, congratulations on creating something that's lasted over 25 years. That's tough enough as it is. And to sustain it. And I'm really excited to meet you in person. I'm glad we got this chance to talk. And I'm, you know what? The reason I know I'm coming to this, because my wife said, "Oh, you need to go to this.
Oh.
You need to do this." And she's not like, she goes, "All right, you're doing the podcast. You're still doing but no, you need to go there, because if you're going to make some contacts there, that's going to help get content and possibly even find potential sponsors for the podcast, which is not always easy to do."
No, but we love her for saying that, and we will take an extra step in making sure you meet the right people, because that's part of what goes on in our conferences. Media need help too. Media need financial backing, and certainly a show like this deserves it.
Thank you very much. Great talking to you. Good luck, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, Fred. I enjoyed being on your show.
Okay.